From Santa Cruz, California, say hello to Frank Moreno.
Frankie Moreno.
Frankie Moreno is a songwriter, piano player, singer, tons of stuff.
He is a Las Vegas favorite. We're talking about Frankie Moreno.
Life and music with Manny Kellough. I'm Manny Kellough. I'm your host, two-time Grammy Award winner. And I am so delighted and excited to have on the show today a Las Vegas star. He travels all over the world. Right now, he's joining us from Florida, Naples, Florida. And I'm going to just stop talking and I want to get right into the show. Please say hello to my good friend, Frankie Moreno from Las Vegas, Nevada. How you doing, man? Talk to us.
I am good, man. Thank you for having me on here. I'm in Florida right now. We're doing some shows out here, and the last leg of a tour since August. What is it? 3 months now.
Okay.
It's been grueling. So I come to you from this beautiful hotel room painting.
Yeah.
How you
Great.
doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. You know, and I want you to feel free if you would like. It's a give and take. I ask you questions, you ask me questions. So that's what it's about. You know, it's not all black tie. It's not stuffy. It's having fun and loose. So that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, I want to start off, man. Where are you from, man? Talk to me.
So my family all, if you want to get way back into it, my family all from Italy, of course. And
Okay.
then they all moved to New York. My dad was born in New York. Eventually, the family came over to California, and I was born in a little beach town called Santa Cruz, California. It's kind of by San Francisco.
I know where that is. Yeah, beautiful.
Boardwalk and all that. Yeah. So I was born there, and I, played around all the fairs and all the things when I was a kid there, and whatever, and got into music, and eventually moved to Nashville, Tennessee. Lived there for about 5 years, doing like session work and performing with all the country artists and all that out there, and then wound up in Vegas.
Yeah.
From Vegas, I lived a little bit in New York City, back to Vegas again, and now I split my time between Las Vegas and Hawaii.
Very good, very good. Well, my next question is, it's going to be a two-part question, my friend.
All right.
Who are some of your influences, and how did you get started in the business?
So it's an interesting thing. My influences, first of all, let me flip flop and put the other part first. Let me put how did I get started first? My dad played some guitar, right?
Okay.
His dad played a little guitar, but mostly like just kind of for fun. They play some little weekend shows here and there, but it was more of a hobby, right? Like they just love music. Music was always prevalent in the family. Music was always playing. My grandparents, being Italian and all that, were always, of course, playing Sinatra and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But then my dad was really into growing up in the 1950s as a kid. He was, Elvis, Ray Charles, Jerry Lee Lewis, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The whole spectrum of rock and roll, from the country rock and roll to the jazzy rock and roll to the bluesy rock and roll, the whole spectrum. He loved all that. So that was always kind of just there, lingering over he had guitars laying around. They were almost like, as a child who doesn't play music, you see these guitars, these beautiful, colorful guitars.
Yeah.
And they're like toys, and you want to play with them. Oh, you can't, don't touch that. Don't touch it. And as soon as you say, don't touch that, and it's this really cool looking thing, it looks like a little Cadillac over in the corner. Like, don't touch it. I'm drawn to it. I'm like, I want to mess around with this thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, if you eat all your dinner, you can touch one of the guitars, And then he would show me a couple chords, but it was really difficult. I was very young. We're talking, just talking. It was very difficult to wrap my fingers around the guitar neck. It was hard to make noise on the guitar.
Okay.
So one day they had this little yard sale, and an old beat up piano that my grandmother gave us was in the garage, and they were putting it all out for a garage sale to sell stuff. And I was out there and I was started messing around on the piano. I mean, guys, I must have been 4 years old, 5 years old, and just started picking out tunes. Just started like things that I've heard because music's always playing. So like I'm just start playing these things. No, nobody in the family played a piano,
Okay.
so they're like, huh, this is something. So they put the piano back in. You know, don't sell that.
Yeah.
And so now there was a clear thing that for some reason I could sit at this instrument and have a grasp of it at a very young age. So that's when the influences started coming in. So that's when my dad started switching the stuff he was playing in the house to like listen to this, listen to like a lot of Ray Charles, a lot of Ray Charles.
My
Um,
man.
oh, I mean that's is has anything since then or before then been cooler than that? I mean that's pretty good stuff, you know. And then he starts playing like Jerry Lee Lewis and stuff. Which now the Jerry Lee Lewis boogie woogie rock and roll is a much more simplified. Um, I hate to say country version, but it is in a sense, right? You know, where Ray Charles is still putting in the gospel and the jazz chords
Right.
and his even like songs like "Mess Around" and the boogie woogie kind of stuff. He's still using a lot of the influence of the gospel and the jazz, the chording, right? Where Jerry Lee was more straight triads like do 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 do. But to me as a child, both of them were super cool. Both of them were cool. So like I could get my hands to play the Jerry Lee stuff easier. I can wrap my head around it, you know. So I just start playing. I start all of a sudden I'm listening to the songs and playing the songs, and then I could work my way up to the Ray Charles stuff. And then my dad starts introducing me to more things like um, Stevie Wonder and like, hey, let's try this, and
Yeah.
there it comes. And even Harry Connick Jr. was, and anything, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, all that stuff started like just coming in, and I was learning everything I possibly could. So the influence in my music all stems, I would say, from Ray Charles, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Stevie.
Okay.
In later times, as I developed and started a career and things started happening, and this opportunity comes where I had to learn how to sing and stuff. I got really into like the Elvis Presley and the Prince and the like we're very eclectic. But and one other guy, Mozart. My mom started showing me these Mozart cassettes that we had. I mean, we were talking in the '80s, so we had these cassettes we could buy of Mozart, and I would listen and copy it and play it exactly the same. And so there was something there. So the influences for piano all stemmed from one thing, but then music in general started coming in as a whole. Because now I was interested in just music. The piano to me wasn't like, oh, that's going to be my instrument. That was like my introduction into the world of music.
Okay.
And I think I knew real quick, well, this is definitely what I'm going to do. But still, I just wanted to play those guitars. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I still couldn't do it, but I was like flourishing on the piano. But my interest was in like, well, I want to stand up and play guitar in front of the crowd. I don't want to be sitting at the piano in the background. So it was as I grew a little older, it all kind of started melting into like learning all the instruments. So because one day I'm going to be a band leader, and I want to
Yeah.
I want to know how to play the drums, so I could tell the drummer, I want that bell right here, and I want that cross stick right here. I want to know the terms for everything.
Well, on that note, Frankie, have you had any formal training? Did you take any music lessons or go to school or anything like that?
I sure did. Yeah. So at 7 years old, we started getting formal training for like sight, like reading music, because
Yes.
this was all by ear. So my ear was good. My ear was good. I mean, I played with my fingers, but by ear.
Of course. Yeah.
But I knew that there would be. I had this thing in me. I knew this was what I wanted to do, real young, which was that. Talk about a blessing. That was a blessing because like I never had to search for what was my personal purpose in life. I
Oh,
knew my direction before I knew anything. Like I knew like I'm supposed to be sitting here in this weird hotel talking to you. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be doing these things in life. This is what my purpose was to be spreading music, and in order to spread music, I want to learn all about music,
Okay.
everything. Classical, jazz, funk, hip hop, reggae, rap. I want to know everything that I could possibly absorb. And so, so we started doing like this. I was begging my mom and dad, can I do learn how to sight read? Because I didn't want to hit any walls. I didn't want to like I said, my dad played guitar, and I could see that I started out playing him like 7 years old, and I could figure something out on a record that I heard that he couldn't
Okay.
figure out because he couldn't get to that next level because he didn't do the training to get there. So I said,
Right.
"Oh well, I want that training, so I don't ever have that problem." You know what I mean?
Of
How
course.
about you? When did you start playing drums?
I was just getting ready to go there, man. I started playing drums at the age of 8,
Yeah,
and this is I'm very proud and thankful to say this past September marked my 69th year behind the drum set.
man, that's amazing.
Man, I
So,
just
so what like for you? Because obviously, your daughter sings in my band with me.
right.
And so when she, it's funny. So I don't know if you ever heard this story. Not to get off track here, but
Go right ahead. It's your show, man. Go right ahead.
I was putting together. Interestingly enough, we were just talking about Ray Charles. So I've been playing all over Vegas. We travel and everything, but Vegas we have what they call residencies, right? We're doing a residency, and I was like, I want to switch up the next 6 months that I'm doing at this residency and do like themed shows. I want each show to be specific to an artist,
Okay.
where we're like doing a tribute to the music of that artist, our own way, of course, whatever. But the first artist we were going to do was going to be Ray Charles. So I'm like, well, I can't play this stuff without background singers. I need singers, and I didn't even know where to begin. So
You needed to Ray less.
I did. I needed
Yeah.
exactly that.
You
And so,
know, I played with Ray Charles when I was 17 years old.
all right. So how did that happen?
I had
Were you already pro at this time? Were you already pro at this time, or was that like did you stumble into that? How 17?
well, 17. I had a band called the Rhythm Rebellion,
This
and
was
Ray
your band.
Charles. We traveled with Ray Charles, and we opened the show for him. We
Amazing.
were in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, one night at the Latin Casino.
Okay.
Friday night, opening night, and his drummer got sick.
How
So
it works. That's how it works, man.
who else was there to be thrown into the hot chair but me? You
So
know,
you
and
obviously knew the music by opening and watching the show and listening to. You already knew all the songs, and yeah.
I knew the songs and had never played with him before, never played any of his stuff. But I sat down, I'm fired up, I'm cocky, man, and
Yeah.
wanted to show Mr. Charles what I could do. That I was a top notch drummer,
Right.
and we were playing the tune "I Got a Woman" way over town.
Yeah.
She's
She's
good
good
to
to
me,
me.
and I was playing drum rolls, man. I got a woman, And he turns around and says, "Wait a minute, darling," you know.
I
and
love it.
and he said, "Baby, this ain't your show," you know.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Really, really, man. And he said, "Meet me in my dressing room at the end of the night." And he
Oh
went
man.
on, counted off the next tune. From then on, man, I was scared to even pick up the drumstick. But I went to his dressing room, did what he said. And from the time it took him to take off his shirt and put another shirt on, it changed me from becoming a cocky young drummer to a grown up professional drummer as I am today. He said, one day your name just might be on the marquee, and then shoot your arrow. But until then, stay out the way, baby.
I love that.
And then he said, dismissed.
Oh, I love that.
That's
I love
how
that.
Frankie. That's how that happened, man. And I was never. You see, I never forgot it. I
No,
would
but
never forget that, man.
those opportunities, like you said, the guy called it six. So that was the same thing with Ashley, your daughter. Like it was an opportunity came up, and I was just looking for a one little moment. Like
Yeah.
this show, I want backup singers, right? And of course, I know the whole gamut of all the Ray Charles songs. I mean, from growing up playing, right? And I called a couple friends to get a singer, and I found a singer. Her name was Crystal, and she comes in, she's singing. She's like, "Oh wow!" I auditioned a few and didn't have the feel for it. Like some sang good, some looked cool, some sang good and look cool, but have bad energies or bad vibes. And you go,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
takes a lot of people coming up in music don't understand it. You got to do your job good.
Right.
You have to be professional. Like we're living the life of rock and roll and whatever we're doing out there, and it looks all crazy to everybody. And like, oh, we're having fun, and we're out on the road. But you got to be when it comes to business.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no messing around in that, or you're gone, or
That's
the
right.
whole life, or the whole lifestyle's done for you. Like showing up late, all that kind of stuff like that. That's not cool.
No, it's not.
So
I always tell when I do lectures and things to other young drummers, or either whatever musicians I'm talking to at the time, I will say, have fun with the music, but
right,
take it seriously,
totally,
or you'll be gone. Simple as that. And you won't get
yeah,
called back.
yeah. I mean, like this is a very strange lifestyle. As you know, like here I am sitting here in this hotel room. You know what I mean? Uh, we've been on tour for the last 2 months, so I'm like I'm beat. I'm tired. I
Yeah.
haven't been in my own house more than 2 days in the last month and a half. Like just to repack and do laundry and like make sure the lights are off in the house and the alarm system's on. You know what I mean? So it's a very strange lifestyle. So you have to go out and you have to absorb it and have a good time and enjoy it. But you always got to know, or at least I always think of this. There's so many people who would kill for that position.
That's right. That's right.
What you're doing, like when you're saying you're playing with Ray Charles and it's a fun story for you now, there are 10,000 drummers who would chop off a leg to do that job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you got to always know there's a bunch of people right behind you who would gladly take you down to take your place.
Waiting in the
And
wings. They're waiting in the wings.
yeah, and some of them are waiting patiently, like they're supposed to, and some of them are aggressive and they're trying to, you're talking about shooting that arrow. They're trying to shoot that arrow to take you down so they can have your job.
Right. Right.
And I love, as weird as the lifestyle is, I love it and I wouldn't trade it. So like I'm very guarded. I guard it very preciously what I do. I know that somehow I got this little spark in me to make music,
Yeah.
and I understand the power of music, how important music is. When you're sitting in an elevator with a bunch of strangers and music's playing, makes everybody not feel so awkward. When you're on hold with the bank for 15 minutes trying to get through, that little bit of music calms you down. When
Yeah.
you're on a treadmill and you're trying to get exciting, that exciting music pumps you up. Or when they're going to war and they're beating the drums, like music changes your vibe and your energy. Could make you remember, could make you forget, could make you happy, could make you sad. And it's a very powerful thing.
Yes. it
Like
is. Yes.
to me, there's this quote of Mozart. Actually, I'm a big Mozart fan, and Mozart has this quote. He says, "The power is in the music, not in the musician. Like the music will live and live and live and live. Once we're gone, Manny. Once you're gone and I'm gone,
Music
I'm
lives on.
the music still goes. And I hope that I had a part in that fabric of that blanket of the music, even if it's small, right? Where we still here we are talking about Ray Charles. He's long gone. Elvis Presley, long gone. They're
Yeah.
long gone. We're
Yeah.
still talking about this. They did something to affect, and that's always been embedded into me. Like, do something to just make sure you're part of this fabric of music. And a lot of that just stems from professionalism and making sure that you're not stepping on people like the ones behind you trying to get there. Making sure you're doing everything right, so you guard that life. And
Right.
I just spent my whole time as I'm sitting in this hotel room. You know what I mean? Like it's what a weird lifestyle. But when I get on the stage and you're singing a sad song and you're making people cry, and then another one where they don't know why and they're just moving. You're going like, you hold this very powerful tool, you know? And to me, that's worth every penny of every day not being home and relationships that are hard to put together because you're out on the road. How are you supposed to have relationships? You know what I mean? Like how are you supposed to be a normal person when you're living in a hotel room? It's very difficult, you know, right? It's
We're not normal people, you know. We're just
oh,
we're not, you know. I got another question for you, man.
yeah.
If you don't mind, this is really interesting, man. Great interview. Uh, Again, thank you for being here. Who were some of the artists that along your way? Who are some of the artists that you ever worked with, been on stage with?
Oh my God. Well, my list is not like yours because your list is filled with legends. But
Come on,
so
man.
so I moved to Nashville at 18 years old. Um, and I got into the country music scene because I was really invested in this like old rock and roll stuff. I really just loved the sound of the old rock. When I say old rock and roll, I'm not just talking the Elvis and stuff. I mean that goes back to like every gamut of that old stuff. I love live bands playing live music. Right? We're in a modern age today where when you say old rock and roll, does that mean the '90s? I mean, you know what I mean? I'm talking about any of that at this point where it's people making music, not just hitting a button on a computer and playing music. Not
Right.
that that's not cool in its own way, but I love guys getting together. You're on the drums, I'm on the piano, this guy plays guitar, and let's see what we all do. I love that.
I would
So,
love to do that with you too.
well, we need to make that happen. That's after we hang up this call, we're going to set that up.
Okay.
But but so I moved to Nashville and I got into the country world because that was the closest thing to that old rock and roll. Now we're talking in the '90s now. So you got your heavy rock bands and stuff
Yeah.
going out, you know, and you got the punk rock scene was really big, and of course country was always country and blues is always blues and classical is always classical, but the pop end of the whole world changes every damn 6 months, really, you know.
Right. Right.
But the country music that was happening in the '90s was the closest thing to the sound of what I was creating. Like I was writing music, right? I, I started writing music immediately when we were talking about playing. Like after I started tinkering on the piano at 7 years old, the next step was like just I wrote my own songs because I'm like, well, Jerry Lee Lewis already did that. Ray Charles already did that. I need something. So I started writing. So I moved to Nashville, and my first gig was with a country singer named Lori Morgan, a
Mhm.
popular country artist, and I did stuff with her. Then I went on tour with a girl named Deborah Allen, and she was a big country singer. She wrote songs for everyone, though. She wrote I forget what the song is she wrote for Prince. She wrote music for everybody. So a lot of country acts at the top, played on sessions with like Daryl Singletary, Faith Hill, all these big country names. Um, Later, as my career progressed, I started playing in clubs and all that, and big names would start coming in to hear my band.
Okay.
So I would meet them, and like guys like Air Supply. You remember the band Air
Yeah.
Supply?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're still out there killing it, man. And like so they came in, and I went on the road with them, toured with them for a year and a half, and wrote them a record that went number 7 on the Billboard charts. And
Fantastic.
like because there I am working with them. And my thing is I'm a songwriter, so there's the lead singer of the group, and the guy who writes the music, and he's sitting at the pool, and I'm sitting at the pool before a show one day. I'm like, hey man, I got an idea. Check this out. This sounds like Air Supply, but today let's get a new song. So like you're in those positions, right? Just like you said, the drummer gets sick and you're opening the show. It's the natural course that takes.
Yes.
If you're there and you're prepared and you're good and you're in the moment, those moments always come. Someone gets sick or someone just doesn't want to do that. Quick side lesson: if you're a musician, take all the gigs, because if you say I'm not going to do that one, you're going to miss the one that's going to lead you right down to the road that you want to be on, right?
Very good. Very good. Very good to say that. Yeah, man.
But
Uh,
but then
Go
I,
ahead.
I went on the road with Sting. Gosh, who else? Classical violinist Joshua Bell. I got to work with like people like Chick Corea. it got to a place where I started doing collaborations and things with some really big artists.
Well, man, you
You know,
talking about me? Listen at your list.
no, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. We all got our little things going on, but man, so I'm looking you up, and I saw something that said you played at one time where you did something with the Rolling Stones. Is that?
Yes, I did, man. 1973. I was the percussionist on the Goat's Head Soup tour.
Mm,
That was some fun. And should I say
wow.
it was an experience, you know.
So, from my knowledge of you, you're saying you started playing around 8. Like, do you remember what, what made you start? Was it just in you? Did you hear a drummer play that made you? What made you want to play the drums? Number one, and then how did you get the drum set? You know what I'm saying? Like how did those things come out? Like, for younger artists that are starting, they hear the stories. Oh, here's Ray Charles, Rolling Stones, Sting, Chick Corea. They hear the stories, but it starts with that first thing, right? It starts with like that. What made you go, I want to play drums?
You know, Frankie, that's a very, very good question. Uh, I started playing at the age of 8 at my church, Pleasant Hill Baptist Church in Los Angeles, California. And there was this deacon there. His name was Deacon Avery. He was the drummer.
Okay,
And I used to sit down on the front row and watch him play every Sunday. And I didn't even know if I could play drums or not, but I
right.
knew, like you, that's what I wanted to do. I,
Okay, so
I kept sitting there and sitting there every Sunday. And every Sunday I would say, Deacon Avery, can I play? And he said, oh, go on, sit down now. Go on, sit down, young boy. You know,
he lets you play on his drum set.
not that quick, though.
Yeah,
But he did. He did. Yes, he did. I kept asking him, and I asked him every Sunday. I didn't even know if I could play the drums, but I kept watching him and watching him. And one Sunday, I think he got tired of me asking him, and
right.
he said, "All right, come on up here, and come on up and sit down." He had to go to the bathroom or something. But anyway, I was in the right place. He
So
called me.
you're watching his hand, you're watching the left hands hitting at this time, and you're watching like the patterns going on, what you're hearing, and you're just deciphering it all. So now he lets you. So he goes to the bathroom. You're sitting at the drums, so you have a grasp of what to do.
Well, the thing is, he wasn't doing that much. It was simplicity what he was doing. He was just doing.
Right.
And so I did that. I followed exactly what he was doing. Back then in the Baptist church, man, that was the beat.
Right.
And they still
You
use
know
that
what? You
beat
know
to
what,
this
man?
very day.
That simplicity is still the most important beat of anything, isn't it?
To this very day as we speak.
It's nice
You
to
know,
learn all this stuff, but like without that, there's nothing. I mean,
that's boot camp, man. You know,
yeah,
if you can just play that one, two,
that makes people dance.
that get them up, man. That's what make them.
Yep.
Oh, you know, that
Yep.
I can hear it to this very day, man. And I'll be in church, man. Next thing I know, I'm up. You know, whoa.
So something about what the drums was doing was just moving you, and now you had the opportunity, and there's the guy that gives you the opportunity to sit at the drum set.
Yes,
And when you first played, did it sound as you thought it was going to sound?
yes, it did. I mean,
So you already studied it enough with your mind,
it kind of scared me because I was saying to myself, I said, "Hey, I'm doing what Deacon Avery's doing." So it was just don't do no more than what Deacon Avery's doing, and that's all I did was what he was doing. You know, uh,
amazing,
Ray Charles again, stay simple and stay out the way. So that's the way he played, and that's the way I play to this very day. I stay out the way.
right?
I had to work to get my first drum set. I didn't get my first drum set till I was like, oh man, 13 years old, and I was
So
working.
wait,
I'm sorry,
so
go
wait,
ahead.
this is 8 years old. 8 years old, you did this. So now you're talking 4 years until you get a drum set. So what are you doing in between then? Are you still just playing on his drum set? Like you're still playing?
I'm still playing at church on Deacon Avery's drum
Okay,
set.
okay,
It was it
but
was,
not
it
with
was,
the
it
group or
was
anything. Just like on your own, just learning, practicing, messing around.
just watching him every Sunday, you
Right.
know. And then after a while, he got so he just let me play. I became the drummer, And this deacon by the name of Deacon Durham went to my mother and said, "Well, Sister Kellogg, if Manuel's gonna be beating on them drums, he's got to be baptized." So I got baptized at the age of 8, and that's where my training, and that's where I started playing at the age of 8. And this, like I told you, this is my 69th year playing drums, man. But
It's
back to
amazing.
my first set of drums, I had to work to get that first set of drums. I worked maintenance at night. I used to go on the weekends with my stepfather. He had a little maintenance business. So I had to work for him, and he bought the drum set. I had to go work for him and pay him the money back on the drum set. I
Yes.
did that until the drum set was done. I To this very day, man, I can't stand maintenance work because I had
I get
that's how
it.
I had to do it, you know.
I get it. See,
But
my thing. So like, I didn't have that luck of watching someone visually play.
yeah,
I was listening. It was the same scenario for me. I was listening to music and I was trying to figure out what that would be. So when a piano actually was in front of me for the first time, and you put your hands on it, and obviously I don't know because I never saw anybody play. This is a C, that's a G, that's the note making this. So I would touch the notes and find, oh well, that note, well that's the first note of mess around on rap-a-pa-pa-ba-da-ba-da. I'm like, so if that's the first note, this would be the second, and you figure it out. And so I did the same thing where I just started noodling, and then it was about, well, this piece of junk firewood piano that we had, it was about, I need a better piano. So it was like,
okay,
and luckily the first little keyboard that came in, very small little toy keyboard thing that came in, Santa brought me.
okay,
So that was the first one. So now I actually had something I could practice on. And then as time went on, that whole year, that first Santa Claus piano I was playing on was just, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with it. Like, I was just, it was, I couldn't stop playing this thing to a point, again, where just like those guitars in my house, my mom and dad would say, like, no more playing until you finish your homework. No more playing until it became a toy. It was never go practice, go practice. It was
okay,
it was a treat. It was a gift to get it if I did all the stuff I didn't want to do.
yeah, yeah,
Eat your broccoli and eat your Brussels sprouts, and then you can go play for the piano.
yeah, yeah,
So when I got to it, it was like, oh my God, okay, I got an hour before bedtime. Let me cram in as much information as I can on this thing. And and I think a lot of people get that, like, just like you or me, where it's just like, it's just there and you're psyched to touch the instrument, right? And then there's others that don't know because they're not exposed. So you were exposed watching this deacon play. I was exposed listening to music.
yeah.
There might be some Ray Charles out there that's just not exposed to the music, or maybe the parents are playing music that doesn't inspire them. Like the stuff the deacon was playing was inspiring you, obviously, right?
Yes.
The music I was listening to was inspiring me. But like, you think back to like guys like Babe Ruth, who baseball heroes, right? They had to be able to have a bat to know that they're the guy, right? Like,
Right, right, right.
they didn't get those tools and that inspiration. And I just wonder how many musicians that we miss, and especially they're taking the music out of schools and all that. How many of these iconic, legendary music changers, people that changed the way we listen to music, like Ray Charles or even Elvis, so just the way you listen to it is like, oh, well, that's a different way to see and hear music, right?
I
Whether you
got
like all the artists or not, they bring something new. Stevie, when he starts playing the stuff and then doing the harmonica, like, you're like, what am I watching here? How many are we missing? How many of those are we missing because they don't get those opportunities? It's kind of sad, honestly.
right, right. I got you, man. You know, much as I hate to, I got to take a quick pause here
Yeah,
and acknowledge some people. And don't go nowhere, Frankie. We'll
I
be
go
right back.
ahead.
I'm
I'm
going
stuck in
to.
this hotel room, man. Go ahead, do your thing.
Well, my friends, you see, this is a fantastic interview with my good buddy Frankie Moreno from Las Vegas, Nevada. But before we go any further, I would like to acknowledge some people behind the scenes, and that would be Diggs Entertainment, who co-produces this podcast and does all the editing and make it all possible. I also would like to thank Istanbul Symbols, Carl Thompson from Muhammad Symbols, who endorses me, and I thank you so much for that. And if you are not familiar, drummers, if you're not familiar with Istanbul Symbols, you don't know what you're missing. Anyway, again, I want to say thank you, Carl Thompson, Istanbul Symbols from Turkey. On that note, I've got to go right back to my man Frankie Moreno, and we're going to continue where we left off. Are you there, my brother?
I'm here. Of course, I'm here.
Hey, man. Again, I want to just thank you so much for being here, man. This is so exciting, man. And when this hits the air, I hope that we'll have some youngsters out there, some more musicians that's checking this conversation out. But this is really a very good interview. You know what I want to ask you, and I'm just kind of dragging my feet, man, because I don't want to cut you loose. Uh, what are some of the most of all your travels? What are some of the most funniest stories that you can see? You're laughing already. That you can tell us about. Go ahead, man.
Man, I don't know. You know how that goes. I mean, there's not a lot I can talk about.
I was getting ready to say that you can talk about.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I've had like just funny things happen. So, things that have in the moment felt like they were going to be career enders, but ended up making me really understand the business. Things that have happened. I've had the power go out during shows. Like, let's talk just about shows for a second, and then we'll talk about outside the shows. But
Okay.
power's gone out on stage, and you think, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I remember that happened. I just started headlining in Vegas, and the power went out, and there goes all the instruments. I'm playing a electric keyboard, so the keyboard's gone. Everything's gone. So my first instinct is like, well, we can all walk off the stage and make this awkward and weird, or I already had the crowd riled up, so like you can't let them go. So
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
to the front of the stage, made everybody grab their little candles on their tables and hold them up to get a little light going on, and just started singing a cappella and songs everybody knew that they could sing along, like things like that. So like you turn something like I've had the piano, I'm playing the grand piano, and a leg breaks, and the whole piano falls down and off the
Really?
stage. So I jump on the floor, start playing on the floor. Like
That's
all
quick.
those those kind of things. Like you think, like in the moment, oh my gosh, what's going to happen here? And then you just roll with it. If you're engulfed in the music, if you're not out there trying to. I've never put on a show where I'm sitting there going, look at me, look at me. And it looks like that when you watch the videos of me or the show. Like there I am in some crazy outfit and you know, ah. But really, it's about we're all going to a party, like a potluck, and I'm the one just bringing the music. That's the dish I'm bringing, right?
Very
Because
good.
without
Yeah.
without the different tables and the different that guy probably just put down a dog. That guy just got married. Uh, that guy just lost his grandfather. You know what I mean? So you have all these different headspaces in a crowd of people. You
Okay.
know, when you walk on stage and you're ready to go perform, you or me or anybody, Kiss, whoever it is, stadium, a club, you have a group of people in front of you ready to hear you play your music and do your thing, right?
Right, right.
And you as a musician, not you, but I mean us as musicians, we just go on and expect that is the crowd, right? And we're going on to like get the crowd, let's make them scream, let's make them quiet when we want them quiet, loud when we want them loud. But I've never thought they're always I know when I go to show, I'm carrying with me whatever happened to me in my life in that day and that week, right? And I'm going to get away from the problems to hear music.
Okay.
So they're all there with a common goal to forget their problems, whatever like that. But they all have a different thing going on in their brain. So I usually use my first three songs are throwaways just to they're just exciting, upbeat songs. Just they're fun and fast, and they get you moving because they're the beat, right? But I'm not saying anything strong lyrically or anything. I'm just trying to look and see what I'm working with here. And you see the one guy over there like this, like doesn't want to be there. His wife dragged him to the show,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you see the young kid that's like looking at the bass because he goes like, man, he's got bass. He wants to play bass and he's inspired by that. You can see all the things if you pay attention. So once I sum that up after about 2-3 songs, now I go for the guys who aren't locked in. The guy who's sitting there like this, like, show me what you got, kid. I'm going for him. I want to crack him, right? And sometimes that's just like, saying a little inside joke and then looking at him and go like, right? And then he's in on it with you. Now he's part of it.
Yeah.
Start cracking it to make everybody just on the same page. And I think it takes about 50% of the show, 70% of the show to finally hit that peak where we can unite everyone in the same mental place, even if it's for 30 seconds. We get them through the show and we get them clapping, we get them having fun, but that one moment, you know it, when you're in it, when you're playing a show and it's great. Oh, they're clapping and you just did a good fill and wow, Manny, that was awesome. But then there's that moment that you strive for that just like, boom, we're all in this little bubble of music right at the same time together because it'll eventually fall apart again,
Yeah.
I live for that moment, waiting to hit that moment where we can all just hit the same place at the same time. So all those things that have happened, like pianos breaking and stuff like that, none of that matters. None of that matters at all to me because it's about hitting that moment, right? So
Okay.
things going wrong on stage, who cares? You know what I mean? If your cymbal falls out, work with it. Don't, oh no. It's like, well, I'm not playing a cymbal or let me make, So I've had those kind of things happen. Now off the stage, we live in hotel rooms and tour buses and we're traveling and gets boring. So you start trying to find things to entertain yourself. I've been very, very fortunate in my life. This is a crazy business. It's crazy business. And people get very bored and lonely on the road, right? So a lot of times bad things come in, drugs and stuff like that. I've been very lucky not to get involved in that scene, even though I've been around it, but with
Yeah.
everyone.
Yep.
I personally never, I drink my wine and my whiskey. I enjoy that, but I never got into like this stuff because I I think because I started so young and I realized how precious this thing was that I was able to do for a life. I didn't want to mess it up. I'm not going to mess it up. You know what I mean? And that being said, I've had obviously, trials throughout life of, relationships getting messed up, marriages fail because of the being on the road. And so you have those things that happen, but I take it very preciously. And I know deep down my job is to make people forget their problems. So I need to take that weight on, right?
Okay.
As the front guy of the band. So I've been pretty good with not doing anything like that to mess it up. That being said, do we do silly things on the road? Like what some crazy stories we have? I mean, cars breaking down, running out of gas on the road, like all this, the normal stuff. But I mean, the real good stories I'll have to tell you when we're off the air here. But what about you? Give me a crazy story of you on the road.
I missed the airplane to a concert.
Well, that's no good.
No, but, Billy didn't take it too lightly, but I was trying to figure out all kind of stories to tell Billy when I finally got to Boston. I was trying to get the captain to write me a note, the stewardess to write a note, and the main reason I missed the airplane is, man, I was hung up, read between the line,
Yeah, I
and
get
I
it.
and I missed the airplane. Caught the airplane, then the plane couldn't land because it was too much snow. So it finally kept circling and circling and circling. We finally were able to land. Then I didn't want to go to the hotel because I knew I had to face Billy Preston. We're talking
Yeah,
about playing at an arena, man. We were
yeah.
the opening act at an arena that we missed. We totally missed the concert because the drummer wasn't there. Anyway,
So
go ahead.
What happens if he would have got the opening act, got to play drums, and then that guy gets the gig? You know what I mean? Those things can happen, right?
Yeah, but he didn't never hire another drummer. If I didn't make it, he didn't do it.
That's
But anyway,
amazing.
I just unfortunately, Frankie, he didn't get too mad. He got mad, but he didn't get too mad. I mean, he
Good.
fined me the night's show, and we were able to make up the concert later on. So it worked out okay, but that's probably about the if that funniest thing that I can talk about right now. That
Yeah, I hear it.
I missing
That's
that
that's a
interview.
loaded question, man. You know.
Yeah, I know it is, man. Hey, man, what are you currently doing now? Any shows
So
coming up, or what you? I know you're in Florida. Talk to me.
I'm in Florida. We're doing shows right now. We've been on this tour with symphonies. So it's my band when we're playing, and we have a symphony backing us up. 100-piece orchestras backing us up.
Whoa.
So that's a trip because we got to do our thing, but we also have to work with 100 musicians that we don't know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're purely reading charts, right? And we all have it up in here. So we're playing our song, the reading charts, but like in my normal band when we're on tour, I can turn around and like tell the drummer like.
Pick it
My
up.
my
Pick it
son,
up.
yeah, my son is my drummer in the band, which is kind of cool. Giovanni,
Really?
he's yeah, and so I could turn around and tell him like we'll hit that chorus again, or hey, let's speed up the song a little bit, or let it sit right here for a minute. I want to talk to the crowd, let the groove sit. But with an orchestra, you can't do that. It's almost like the train runs whether you're on it or not. That
That's
plane
right.
is flying to the gig whether you're on it or not,
That's
and
right. Yeah.
so it's a different experience. It's amazing, but it's you can't really. Let's just say I have to do a few shots less of whiskey before I walk on stage because otherwise, so I'm doing that out here, and um, we got another 5 shows, and then I'm finally at the end of this little tour where I take a break, and I'm gonna go out to Hawaii and do Thanksgiving and Christmas in Hawaii before we head off to Europe to do a chain of. So we're doing 15 cities in 20 days in Europe, which is gonna
Whoa.
be in the snow in Scandinavia in January. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, I've been doing that, man, and like just trying to make records and singles as much as I can, and whenever I get a chance, I knock out a single and stuff. And I got a Billy Preston story for you. I was playing a show one time in Santa Barbara, California.
Okay.
I was opening for Billy Preston,
Really?
and this was oh boy, 25 years ago,
What
maybe.
what what year was that?
Let me think.
I'm trying to see if I was there.
I mean, it was the let's see.
Was it in the 70s?
No, no, no. It's between
Okay.
1995 and 2000 ish, kind of maybe.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm opening for Billy Preston, and um, for some reason they couldn't get his keyboard to the show. So he came backstage. Billy walks backstage because you never really, as an opening act, you don't get to always talk to the artists and stuff like that. But Billy came backstage, and I met him. I was really young, I was not even 20 years old, and he goes, man, can I use your keyboard? And I brought my keyboard out because I drove out from Santa Cruz, few hours away, and I'm like freaking out. Billy Preston's gonna play my keyboard, so I'm explaining to him it's not the best keyboard. And I'm sitting there on the side of the stage, and he starts doing round in circles.
Dun, 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 dun.
I got a song and got no melody, and he's doing his thing, and he's playing on my piano, and I'm like, damn, that keyboard sounds good. And I'm just watching from the side, and then he calls me over to like play with him. So there I am playing with. Now this is before we all had cell phones in our pockets to take videos, and I don't have any footage of that or anything. But he calls me over, and I'm playing round in circles with Billy Preston on my keyboard.
Yeah.
So that keyboard's long expired in the sense of technology, but I still keep that one. That one's all locked up in a box. That's the one that I played with Billy Preston. That's in my storage unit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and when your daughter, when I telling you earlier that when I started doing that Ray Charles show and I was looking for backup singers, I got this girl Crystal. She goes, "Hey, my sister sings. Her name's Ashley, and she sings. If we need another singer, I go, I do need another singer." And she's texting me while I'm at lunch. I'm at a barbecue place eating lunch, and she's texting me um, this thing, and on the playlist of the place I'm at, they start playing "Nothing from Nothing Leaves Nothing." They start playing Billy Preston, and I'm like, oh, I'm looking at the guys in the band. I'm like, God, I love this stuff, And she texts me. She goes, her dad played with Billy Preston. And I'm like, what? Yeah, Manny Kellough. So I start Googling. I'm like, what the? So I'm like, well, she has to be in the band. I hired her without even auditioning because just the scenario of it was playing at the moment. You know what I mean? Like the all the stars were in line on that one. And she's
Yeah,
been with
yeah.
me for years. She's been with me for years now. And she's killing it out there on the road. Everyone loves Ashley. So it's back to that story of, your Ray Charles story, how you got to sit in with him, or how I got to write music with some of these stars. You're just there, you're ready, you're rehearsed, you're
Yeah.
prepared, your head's in the right spot. That doesn't mean you can't have fun out here and try to create a lifestyle out of this very strange world we live in.
Right, right,
I
right.
don't get to I don't get to wake up every single morning and have my coffee at home and turn on the television, and I don't get that normal. I got to find a coffee shop near me in the hotel of whatever city I'm in, and what I mean, I gotta, and then what do you do all day? So like today we have a show at 7:30. What do I do? I don't know this city, so you try to find things to do. Luckily we're near a beach. We're gonna go on the beach, but like it's unique. It's a unique lifestyle, so you have to find things to do. So you got to have fun and do your stuff, but when it comes time to deliver, when you come up to play those drums, you better kill it, man, because there's a
Oh, yeah.
million people that want it.
That's business, man.
It's business, and it's not just being good, it's understanding what the artists. So like in your sense, if you're backing an artist, you need to know, like you said, Ray Charles, he wants it simple, right?
Yeah.
I need to understand as the front guy, what am I looking for from my musicians, and relay that to them in the way where they understand it. Keeping that like you said, Ray Charles says dismiss. It keeps that level of not fright is the word, but you know who the boss is. You know what I
Of
mean? You know who the
course.
boss,
Yeah, yeah.
but without making them hate you. You know what I mean? Like you said, you were worried what Billy's going to say because there's a fight. He's the boss,
Yeah.
but you don't you don't want to hate him. You know what I mean? Like I need to keep my guys in line, but still be their buddy, and that's also a tricky juggling job in itself. You know what I mean? Trying to evaluate, how do I smack down? You didn't do this right, or you're late, or you shouldn't have done that, or you didn't play that right. You didn't learn that. You didn't do your homework, without them thinking I'm the school teacher and not liking me
They're
anymore.
getting the attitude with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so yeah. But we're out here doing that, and then I
What do
go
you, what do
back to
you what
Vegas.
do you have what do you have coming up, Frankie?
Well, we're working on a new album, which is exciting. That's my favorite thing, to go in the studio and be creative. So a new album coming up, and this European tour coming up, and then but yeah, during the holidays, during this Christmas, we have some Christmas shows, mostly in Vegas right now, but a little bit of a break, which is good. After this week, I get about a month of rest.
Being able
So
to be Frankie. Yeah.
just being fair. And honestly, I don't know what that even means anymore, because I'm so used to the lifestyle. So I get a little uncomfortable when I'm not working, because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? As just a human being, like what my makeup now is to perform and be in front of a crowd, and take your issue and try to send you something positive back. So when I'm just not working, that's when it gets a little tricky for me, actually learning how to navigate life. You know what I mean?
On that note, Frankie, here's another loaded one.
Oh gosh.
When you hit the stage, how does it feel to you to be performing in front of an auditorium or a coliseum full of people?
It's well, I mean, the first word that would come to mind is it's surreal. It's always surreal. Like, it's very easy to get used to it, right? Like the butterflies start going away because it's not like the first time I've done it. I've been doing it my entire existence. So
Yeah.
to me, it's just life. If you throw someone up there for the first time in front of 10,000 people or something like that, they're going to freak out, right? And also being the front guy, like having to 90 minutes of me holding attention is a different aspect than like coming up and doing a song or being able to hide as a pianist in the back of someone's thing, like where I can breathe and not always worry if I want to take a sip of water. I'm not worried about. As a front guy, I've always got to be on. So there's a pressure and all that to it, but I think all that has gone away. Where it's now it's just making sure before I go on a stage, my mind is totally clear. So like I'm out there and I'm talking to everybody and I'm having fun backstage, hanging with the band. We do a little, do a little toast before we walk on stage, and we're talking to all the people who brought us out, all the president of the venue, all
Yeah.
that you're mingling and having fun. Everyone's like, the drummer is like doing his little paradiddles on the couch pillow, and all the stuff that happens backstage. And then I always give a little toast to the band, and I say the same thing every night, and I mean it. Like I go, treat this like it's the first show you've ever played,
Hmm.
and it's the last show you're ever going to
The
play.
last show. That's right.
So you got to walk out there like, don't forget when you walk out with that 8-year-old Manny, that 7-year-old Frankie. Don't forget what that would have meant to be in a room full of people coming to watch you play those drums or watch me play. Don't forget that. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
Don't
Don't
take it
forget
for
that.
granted. Don't take it for granted. Yeah.
Oh, and it's so easy to take it for granted. It's like people who live on the beach and they don't go to the water. You
Yeah.
just, it's easy. So you got to remember when you're walking on the stage, I always go like, what would that dream I had as a child think of this? You know what I mean? Pretty amazing. So I take that in and then go like, what if this is the last time I get to do this? Am I going to leave everything? I want to leave everything on that stage. I don't want to go like, yeah, take some home with me and put it in my coffin. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I want when I go, man, I want it to be a shell with nothing left inside.
I hear you, man. Well
And
said. Well said. Yeah.
yeah, and so when I walk on that stage every night, whether it's 500 people or 15,000 people, and we play all different spectrums, none of it is more exciting than another. It's just about let's see if we can all get that one moment I talked about where we can get all these different mindsets into one place at one time. So that's my whole goal. Let's get everybody in the same place. You know, don't care who you vote for, who you pray to. Let's all get in the same place at one time spiritually with this music
And become one.
and become one, because that's when the music just blows like a volcano, and it's undeniable, and that's what I seek. That's what I'm seeking when I walk on stage.
Very
And
good.
so that feeling on stage is just hope, I guess would be the word I would use. It's hope. I hope that I can hit that little moment, that magical moment, that like when I was 7 years old and I touched the piano and then you finally hit like a chord that's like, oh, that's what it is. Or when you're messing around and you hit the boom, 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 oh, like the first time. Now you play that. You sit down, you play the hell out of that. But that first time, like you're trying to experience that feeling, that you chase that feeling, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's excitement. The feeling on stage is excitement. I mean, do you get nervous anymore? You don't get nervous, right? Do you?
Great question. Yes, I do, man.
Really?
I get nervous before every time I play.
Now, what's the nerves stemming from? Is it stemming from what the sound situation is going to be like? Is it being in front of people? Is it
It's Frankie, it's the whole 9 yards. I don't know if I'm going to
interesting?
get out there and do a drum roll and drop a stick. I don't know if the foot pedal's going to break. I never know. After the first couple of tunes, then I might settle down.
Right.
Then I might not settle down until till it starts coasting, and then I exhale a little bit. You know, but
So,
I get nervous every time before I sit down behind the drum set all the time.
interesting. So I think
I've
that's
been
what we
doing
were.
it 9 years. I still get nervous.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think that's when I was talking earlier about like the piano breaking and the like, electricity going. I think all those things hit me at a very young age.
Yeah,
All
you
that's
never
going
know
wrong.
what's going to happen.
I think though that comforted me a little bit in time, going like, well, if the lights go off, this is what I'm going to do. If the piano goes down, this is what I'm going to do. I
Yeah,
think it comforted me, gave me a little like if your pedal breaks, that I always worry about that for my kid on the drums. Like, what's he going to do? What's his knowledge of fixing that? Like, how do we move the show on? You know, like I know that, okay, well, the next song now is me on just an acoustic guitar by myself while he fixes that. Does
Yeah.
he know how to fix it in time? Does he have another pedal, another chain? I don't know. So I guess I get a little nervous more for the people around me, but um yeah, no, for me, I kind of wish I had a little bit more of the nerves because that's part of the fun. That's part of the fun, you know? I
Those,
mean, it's
those are the butterflies, man.
yeah.
You know, I had a chance to meet long time ago Sammy Davis Jr. I was playing in Mexico City, and he was telling us. He said, "You know," he used to call it by, you know, when you cats stop getting butterflies or getting nervous, get out the business because it means,
Yeah.
just get out of the business because it's not hitting you.
Right.
But so then that's just something I'm just throwing in there. I got another question for you. What out of since we're talking about these shows, what are or shall I say, what is some of the best shows you've done? And we're winding up. We're getting down to the end.
Yeah. I mean, you know, so a place like Carnegie Hall. Have
Ah,
you got have you gotten the chance to play there? 3 times. Yeah, same. So there's something magical about Carnegie Hall, right? Like
yeah,
it's it's there's a magic to walking on that stage. There's a it's not that one was butterflies for me for sure. Because Tchaikovsky opened Carnegie Hall, and
yeah,
there's the Beatles played there. Ray Charles played there. You don't play Carnegie Hall in a popular sense. You play there you have to be good, right? So they're not coming to watch you because you're like, oh, you're famous. They're coming to watch you because you're gonna impress them.
right.
So that you start thinking like, oh, well, now they're really paying attention to the technical stuff. So that's been one of the best places I've played in the sense of the magic of the room. Not the best sounding room for sure. Not the
Right.
best, but there's something about that. I got the opportunity to be on that Dancing with the Stars show.
Okay.
I did a performance on there, and we did a live thing. It was live for like 30 something million people. That was very stressful. Uh, but that stress was fun, and that was a good moment, like being in front, like they're going like 5 4 3 and you're about to go live. What if the microphone's not on? What if the piano is out of tune? What if the drummer forgets the tempo and starts to sing way too slow for me? You know what I mean? So like those questionable things make the most exciting shows for me. I like my favorite shows I've done are the ones that there are some worry, and then
Okay.
you get past it.
Okay.
um Trying to think of like some other places. I mean, I played some stadiums in Asia with Air Supply and stuff for 65, 70,000 people. That to the young person getting into music thinks the stadiums is the way to go, but to me, I lose a lot of what's cool about music by playing a stadium. You know what I mean?
I
They're
like
fun.
playing smaller places myself.
Yeah, small, but I mean, I still want it big. Like if it could be a couple thousand, that's
Yeah.
amazing. You know what I mean? Even 500's cool. When you start getting too small, then I start getting nervous again because you're looking at everybody's eyes, like, oh,
Yeah.
hi, like, oh, they're actually looking. But like, yeah, that big rush of a big stadium is a cool vibe. I got to sing at Madison Square Garden. I've done some cool things where you're in front of a lot of people, but the coolest ones are just when the crowd is right. And it could be in some small town in the Midwest or the South, some just a small town, a couple thousand people, and they just that little moment that we seek that we're all on the same page. Maybe we hit that for 20 minutes or something like that. And to me,
Yeah.
that's a show, and it doesn't matter what the venue is really. It could be in the backyard.
I hear
Um,
you. I hear you.
what's your favorite place you played?
Man, good gracious.
Is it about the venue you're talking, or is it about like who you played it with, or the crowd
No,
was right,
I'm
or
I'm just all of the above. I've played when I was with the Rolling Stones. I mean, every night was different. Every night was fantastic.
those
Uh,
are stadiums, all stadiums. That's like
all
stadium after
all
stadium.
stadiums, all stadiums. When Ray Charles, uh, the Latin Casino, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. That was educating. And then again, Carnegie Hall. I played Carnegie Hall 3 times, and you don't play Carnegie Hall just by knocking on the door. You have to
Right.
be invited to play there.
Yeah, that's a very Carnegie. I think is one of those places, unlike almost any other place. There's some prestigious places, but that's one of those places that you've you gotta do it right when you show up. That you can't mess around on that one. You know what I mean?
It ain't no second chance, man.
Man.
Not no second chance. Well,
Yeah.
down to our last question, Frankie.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but here's another loaded one, man.
Okay.
But I think you can handle it because through our conversation, you have really answered this question. But I'm going to throw it at you again.
Okay.
What advice can you give up and coming vocalists, musicians, writers to enhance their career?
Simple. Um, Number one, there's a couple parts to this. All right. So number one, don't follow a trend.
Right.
Don't learn a trend. Trends change constantly. So you focus your abilities on an idea or a style that's cool or popular in the moment. So that being said, like, and this is what I was telling my son who plays drums. I want you to find what you like. So let's say he likes the way you play drums, right? And actually, when we were out at dinner last night, he kept playing me all stuff that you recorded. He's all, listen to this group, listen to this group, and he's going like, and he's like, what? And I could see him thinking, what's he playing right here? What's he doing with that hi hat, that open and close hi hat groove thing? And so when you hear that, so let's say he likes what you're playing and he likes it. Learn it, study it, and learn it, right? But now that came from somewhere, right?
Right.
Everything comes from somewhere. So wherever you learn that from, try to dig into that person and find what they learned that from to create that. You tweaked something that you had heard, right? So find the root of that and then learn that. And then find the root of, let's say you learn that from Joe Schmo, right?
Okay.
Then find where did Joe Schmo hear that from? Like trace it all the way back. Keep tracing it back. Like treat music like history class, where it's for instance, here I'll put in a better example here. I love the music of, let's say, Elvis Presley. I study it, I learn it, I understand what's he doing vocally here. What makes it cool? Because a lot of times, like guitar players can play better than Chuck Berry now, right? He wasn't the technicalities that players today can play, but they're missing the cool stuff, the notes that weren't hit right. That's what makes it cool, right? So when I'm studying like Elvis Presley, there's sometimes cracks in the voice or he rushes a line or something, but those become iconic songs. So I learned that. Then you go, okay, who was he listening to, right? Well, he was listening to the blues,
That's right.
big time blues, all that stuff in Memphis on Beale Street. So let me listen to what he was listening to think of how he copied that sound to make it. He just copied the sound. That's all it was. You know what I mean? And he comes out, in a time where everyone's in suits and ties. He comes out with his shirt unbuttoned, wearing a pink jacket with crazy greasy hair with eye makeup on, and they're like, "What the?" And he made music sound new, even though he's singing what he'd been hearing down on the street,
Right.
just presenting it in a different way. So then I started looking back as an artist myself, since I like him. Who was he listening to? And I'm listening to all that stuff. And you go back to like, some of that first rock and roll stuff, like Rocket 88, like Ike Turner was playing piano at Sun Records back then before the Tina Turner stuff ever came around. Like Ike Turner was playing boogie woogie rock and roll piano. So you
I didn't
start
know
listening.
that.
Yeah, there's a song. You may have heard of jalopies. You've heard the noise they make. Let me introduce my Rocket 88. You've heard that song before?
Never heard it.
Oh man, it's like one of the earliest songs that have distorted guitar on it.
Got a question for you.
Yeah.
You got your guitar close to you?
I don't have a guitar or a piano at all in this hotel room.
Give me a little off the cuff. Give me a little bit of Elvis Presley real quick.
Oh, Elvis Presley. I don't know. Like wise men say, Only fools rush in. I don't sing it like him. I don't know. I just like all the songs, you know?
Okay, that's
I don't
cool.
try to sound like, I learned really young, don't sound like someone else. They already did it. They already did it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah,
I love those ballads. I love the ballads of Elvis. You know what I mean? The rock and roll stuff's fun, but there's so many people who do the rock and roll stuff cooler. Like
yeah.
if you really want to get down to it, and you listen to "I Got a Woman" by Elvis, which is fast and cool. He does that boogaloo beat. I got a woman way over town. You know, he's doing it like that. Where Ray Charles went, well, I got a woman way over town. And there's that beat that you learn from.
I was getting ready to say that. There's that beat. Yeah.
So I like tracing it back. Then when you listen to the blues guys, who are they listening to? And it's probably some guy with an out of tune acoustic guitar on a porch playing a song that they were just feeling, and they're not technically good. They don't really know music, but they know enough chords to make something sound cool, you know. And they're one guy's slapping his chest, you know, or
Mhm.
like hitting a stick on the ground, just making noise, and you start tracing it back to that. That's when the music starts inspiring you to really open up your perspective. So as a young person, I would say trace it back to, you can't just study the president of the United States. You have to go, well, who was president before him, and how did we get to this place we're in, right? Everything.
Yeah.
How did same thing with religion or anything. How did we get to this zone we're in? And there's a history to it, right? So music, you got to study all that stuff and learn. And like what I tell my son, don't just, if he likes the grooves you're playing, now I need you to listen to some Buddy Rich. And
Ah, yeah.
now I need you to listen to some, John Bonham. I want you to listen to all the stuff that any drummer ever did and just take it all in. You might not like it, but learn it.
I
Learn
still
it.
listen, man. I listen every day.
Man, that's it. Once you said, what's that old saying? When you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot.
There
Right? Like
you go. There you go. There you go.
stop learning this sitting in a hotel room just playing the same thing over and over on stage. I want to get on stage tonight and hit something I've never done. I try to make a point in every show I do to always do something I've never done before. Just take a chance, even if it's one little solo. Take a chance to do something I've never done, and maybe I'm gonna mess it up, but
So what are you what
just
are you what are
always.
you what are you doing in your show tonight? What,
So it's a combination of I'm playing piano and guitar, and we're doing like a bunch of rock and roll stuff and a lot of original music as well. Um, and I had to orchestrate it all. So I hired a couple guys on. There's this guy out of New York named Matt Pod, who's this fantastic orchestrator, arranger. I used him a lot, but I had to do a lot of it myself as well. So it is kind of cool hearing an orchestra play. I wrote the violin part and the clarinet part and the bassoon part. So
hmm.
we're doing that thing. So like playing one of my songs and hearing that, and my son's on the drums. Um, my brother's on the bass guitar. My girlfriend's dancing in the show. My little French bulldog's backstage. I get to bring a little bit of home out on the road with me, right?
Very good.
And
Yeah.
so that's very helpful, and it makes the music more fun for me. And um, I think in that sense, I have a little bit of freedom to take chances, right? Like, don't you feel like when you're playing, you got to take a chance sometimes? Like, you know what you're going to play, and you're playing your part, right, in a
Yeah.
song. But every once in a while, you got to throw in a little. Let me see if I can throw in a little double bell or something here. You know what I mean?
I did that with Ray Charles. You know what he told me? I told you what he told me.
He told you to stop. But then there's some artists, like, was Billy like that? Was Billy Preston like that? Where it was constantly telling you to stop improvising, or
No, no, no. No. We were always being creative, and a lot of our greatest musical moments was on stage.
yeah,
Because being a drummer, I had to pay attention to what Billy was doing, and I
right,
was the band leader, and I was playing a part, and I would hit something that would tell everybody else what to do. But no, we
yeah.
were creative right on. We were right on, man.
Here's a question. So I guess all that lays to, like, as the drummer, if your front guy is a guy who's just playing the song like the record perfectly, then I guess you don't have a lot of freedom. But if the front guy's willing to take some chances, he's probably expecting that of all you. So would you say that Billy wasn't just when he's playing around in circles, it wasn't the same exact way every night. He's slightly, I mean, you got your format and your blueprint, but I mean, trying to inspire each other every night, right?
The tune was the same every night, but there's some nights, man, he would vamp different. He would, if he wanted to get up and dance, I'd have to know when he was going to do that and play. And then I might, and if depending on how fast the tune was, I'd have to play it faster and keep up with him.
Right.
But it was every night was different. It was just
And you guys weren't using like clicks or anything. Like now, a lot of times, like in today, like they want things on clicks because they run the light systems off of click tracks and stuff. So you have to have a tempo going on. But you guys could change your tempos five beats per minute every time you played it, right? I mean,
man, I was the click.
yeah,
There was no clicks back then.
yeah, I know.
I was
So
the engineer.
you're starting it off one night, and maybe it's boom, 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 and the next night maybe it's a little slower.
Yeah, I
Where,
mean, it could be up a little bit or however he felt it. You
right,
know, it was again. I would say the tune was the same, but the feel could have been different.
right.
And you never knew how he felt every night.
And the energy is going to change depending on how the audience is reacting to all that.
Absolutely. Yeah. If the energy's high, everything is going to be up. But anyway, hey man, I want to keep going, but we kind of running out of time here.
It's all
And
right, man.
you on tour, you got things to do, man. But I want to thank you, Frankie, so much for coming on and taking time out of your busy schedule to be in the studio with me today on Life and Music with Manny Kellogg.
Yeah,
And it's
man,
been
it's
such
it's
a
a it's
pleasure.
an honor. It's an honor because I mean, like you're living proof of some little kid who hears an instrument and takes it and runs with it, and your stories now of who you played with and everything like that, like are inspiring to. Just the stories alone are inspiring. Just simply your resume is inspiring. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
But it's nice to know that that all stems from just a little boy who wants to like mess around on an instrument. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know if I could play the instrument. That's what I wanted to do.
I know, but it's as simple as that. It's as simple as just something excites you.
Yeah,
And that goes for every passion that someone has, dancing or painting or a chef. If something inspires you, man, you gotta run with it.
that's
You know,
right.
and there's always that whole thing. A lot of parents teach like the backup plan, the safety net plan. Like, well, what's gonna happen if music doesn't work out for you? You better have a. But I feel personally, if you have a safety net, you're not going to put 100% into what you're doing. I say go without the net, jump in and make it happen. Just
That's,
do it.
that's exactly what I did. To this very
Yeah.
day, I still, sometimes I get tired and burn out and down. I'm sure we all do, but I just keep putting one foot in front of the other, man. And we can go on and on and on and on with.
Yeah. But it's a great you've done great stuff, man, and it's an honor being on your show. Getting to do this with you, and I look forward to just talking more in general with you. You know what I mean?
We're
So
gonna talk a little bit more after the show, man, if that's okay
yeah,
with you.
yeah.
I want to pause right here again and acknowledge uh, Diggs Entertainment, who is my co-producer. This is a fantastic young man who's just does editing, recording, and everything. And if you need someone to do some uh, editing for you, let me know, and I'll put you in touch with Mr. Diggs. He's 33 years old. The cat is tough, man. He's tough.
Awesome.
And when
Awesome.
this comes back out, you'll see what I'm talking about. That's Diggs Entertainment. Mr. Diggs is just a cat that I really admire. Young man going a long ways. Also, I want to again thank Istanbul Symbols that endorses me. Again, Carl Thompson at Istanbul. Thank you very much, man. And I got to get you on the show one day, Carl. You can't run forever. I know you be busy too, man. He plays for Hamilton quite a bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you talking about playing with a click track. He's the cat. He's the cat. Anyway, I want to thank you again, man. I applaud you for taking your time. You're all over the world. You're in Florida, then you're in Las Vegas, and you're in Europe. And I want to get you again on the show, man, if you don't mind, so
I'd love to.
we can continue doing this, you know. And I hope that we along the line that we're able to inspire a youngster, someone coming up and be a mentor to somebody.
We
Because
should do a whole episode just on that, just on the starting from scratch. Where do you go with it? You know?
I would love to do that, man. Maybe we can even get together and talk about doing a workshop one day in
Yeah, I
Vegas.
love it.
I would love that. Hey, man, thank you so much for coming, man. I applaud you. I love you, man.
You too, man.
Keep knocking them dead. Have a wonderful show tonight, man. And tell everybody on stage I said hello and keep the groove happening. And
I sure will, man.
have fun with the music, but take it
Yep.
seriously.
That's
Hey,
right.
man,
That's right. Amen to that.